my children. And together, we will march to...
You know what that shit means? It means the roads have all been closed. It means the phone lines have been cut. It means there's no signals getting in and out of this valley. But mostly it means we're all fucked. Goddamn collapse. They all think the world's coming to an end now. They've been waiting for it. For years. Waiting for somebody to come along and fulfill their prophecy and kick off their goddamn holy war. Well, you sure as shit kicked.
Richard Dutch Roosevelt is the kind of man who spent 40 years waiting for the world to end, just so he can say, I told you so. If Joseph Seed is the prophet of the collapse, then Dutch is the Patreon saint of paranoia. After breaking down the Seed family and their twisted gospel, it's only right to talk about the man who pulled us out of the river and handed us a weapon. The man who saw the storm coming when everyone else was still enjoying the sunshine. And today we're breaking down who Dutch really is, how his survivalist obsession made him the ultimate thorn in the project of Eden's Gate, and why his bunker isn't just a shelter, it's a birthplace of a revolution. Without any further ado, let's begin our video of why Dutch was the tactical heartbeat of the resistance.
Shit, kid. I'm impressed. There's more fighting you than I thought. You got a real shot at setting up this resistance.
Dutch was born into a world he never quite trusted. Long before the Seeds moved into the Hope County, Dutch was already digging. He is a veteran, a survivalist, and a man who understood a fundamental truth. While the rest of the county was focused on farming and local politics, Dutch was tracking the geopolitical shift. He knew that when the world broke, it wouldn't be a clean break.
They all think the world's coming to an end now. They've been waiting for it. For years. Waiting for somebody to come along and fulfill their prophecy and kick off their goddamn holy war.
According to various notes found across Hollet Valley, Dutch was often mocked by the local community. He was the crazy old man on the island, but that paranoia was his greatest strength. He spent decades building a network of bunkers, stockpiling enough lead to sink a ship, and mapping out the vulnerabilities of a very land he called home.
We'll see if we can unfuck this situation.
The conflict between Joseph Seed and Dutch is a battle of two different types of preparedness. Joseph prepares for a divine apocalypse. Dutch prepares for a human one. When the project of Eden's Gate began buying up land and militarizing, Dutch didn't pray. He collaborated his sites. He recognized the cult for what it was, a parasitic force using the same end of the world fear he had lived with, but twisting it into enslave rather than save. This is where Dutch's role becomes pivotal. He is the one who rescues the deputy, the junior, and provides the tactical fundamental for the resistance. He doesn't just give you a gun, he gives you a mission. Dutch's Island serves as the tutorial for the game, but in the lore, it is the only sober zone in the county, drowning in bliss.
You got the Whitetail Mountains. It's run by Jacob Seed, oldest brother of that fucking family. Jacob's the one training the cult, and he's damn good at what he does. Eli and the Whitetail Militia been trying to hold out, but Jacob's ready to step on their necks. Southeast of there, you got the Henbane River. That's Faith's territory. The little sister. I've heard all sorts of stories about people losing their minds in a place called the Bliss. Now head west to the Holland Valley. John Seeds just rolled in there and has taken everything in the name of the cult. Food, supplies, and worst of all, people. Now they're gonna have plenty more calls all over the county. I'll keep you posted on anything that'll be useful.
He understands the Seeds better than they understand themselves. He knows that John Seed seeks admiration, Jacob seeks strength, Faith seeks escape, and Dutch seeks infrastructure. He directs the deputy to liberate outposts, rescue civilians, and dismantle the cold supply lines.
I know what you're thinking, and no, I ain't gonna have you climbing towers all over the county for me, so don't worry.
He is the grandfather of the resistance. He's a man who lost his family to his obsession but gained a colony of sons and daughters who finally realized he was right all along. Let's talk about Dutch's appearance. Now, he looks like every grandpa in Montana.
Now, say my name.
Flannel, suspenders, a bit of salt and pepper beard, but he doesn't intimidate you with a suit like John or a shirtless sermon like Joseph. He disarms you with a cup of coffee and a map. He is the reasonable man in an unreasonable world. This makes the tragedy of his isolation even deeper. He spent his whole life preparing to save everyone, only for everyone to realize he was right too late. To Dutch, the deputy is the great equalizer. You are the tool he never had. Throughout the game, Dutch is your eye in the sky. Every time you liberate an outpost, you hear his voice.
Good job clearing out the research station. Peggies won't be back after the ass whooping you just laid on him. While you're there, check around and see if any folks are left alive.
He's not a code leader demanding yes. He's a mentor demanding results. But there's a dark irony here. Dutch spent his whole life building bunkers to keep people safe. But at the end of the day, a bunker is just a grave you haven't filled yet. When the bombs finally fall, proving Dutch was right in the most horrific way possible, the story comes full circle. In the Resist end, we see the ultimate tragedy. Dutch's bunker, the place that was supposed to be the start of the new world, becomes his final resting place. Joseph C., the man Dutch spent years fighting, kills the old man and takes his place in the bunker. The Prophet steals the Prepper's sanctuary. For someone who spent 40 years preparing to survive and dying at the very moment it begins, is the ultimate gut punch. In conclusion, Dutch represents the grit of the old world. That belief that if you work hard, stay quiet, and keep your powder dry, you can survive anything. He wasn't the loudest man in Hope County. He wasn't the strongest, but he was the most honest. Dutch didn't want to rule the world. He just wanted to make sure that there was a world left to live in. And in the end, Dutch wasn't crazy. He was just the one who was actually ready. Anyway, what are your thoughts on, about Dutch? I know he's probably like the least favorite character in the whole game. Most of the people, like the Far Cry, likes to point out the villains in most cases, but in this time I like to highlight the protagonist as well. Let me know in your comments below, man, of what you guys think about Dutch and what you guys think about my video. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. Please like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment also. For me, Max, it's Green TV Magic.
I will see you when I see you.
It as a depot for their goddamn Bliss. Get my back. Clear them all out. Send a message. We're not